The Yeti Witch is one of the easiest ground attacks you can use, and at Town Hall 16, it got even better with the new Yeti level. So let's break down how to use this army and how to deal with any kind of base regardless of spell towers. For a simple spam army like this, your hero's best build is just as important. For the Barbarian King, I'd recommend either running the Rage Vial plus Giant Gauntlet, or if you don't have the Giant Gauntlet, Rage Vial and Vamp Stash. This is a really good set of abilities that allows you to do massive work while keeping your king inside the base. As for his pets, you can either run the Phoenix as it's still really solid, or you can run the new Angry Jelly as it can keep him in the base and removing big defenses, including the Town Hall. For the Queen, either use the Healer Puppets plus Invisibility Vial, or the Frozen Arrow plus the Invisibility Vial. Both are great choices, and they can keep your Queen alive for a while, even if she's alone. As for her pet, just use the Unicorn, as the healing from it can be very helpful regardless if she has help or not. For the Warden, I would typically recommend the Eternal Tome plus Healing Tome for its very nice comfort to heal squishy units like the Witches and keep the Yetis alive and tanking. For his pet, it can be quite flexible, whether you want to run Diggy for the stuns, Poison Lizard to help deal with the enemy CC, enemy heroes, and or skeleton traps, or even using Frosty for its slows. Finally, for the Royal Champion, I would recommend the Haste Vial and the Hog Puppets for its comfortable healing and Hog Riders, alongside having huge damage thanks to the Haste Vial even after its bug fix. For her, just run the Spirit Fox, as it's basically her best pet for any situation. Now with that said, how does this army even work? Pretty much you're going to set the funnel on two sides with 2 Yetis and 2 Witches. From here you'll set up the opening of the base with 4 Earthquake spells and using another 4 deeper in the base to open it up. This will allow you to spam the rest of your Yetis, Witches, and your heroes into the base while also holding onto your Royal Champion. With an early Grand Warden ability and Rage spell, you can very easily move into the base with very little issue, and any free spells that you have, you can use on splash damage defenses like the Town Hall, the Multi-Archer Tower, or even the Ricochet Cannon. Outside of that, your Royal Champion is going to be used on the back end to help clear out buildings and really cut the base down while your troops and heroes are in the core. More often than not, this is going to 3-star bases with Rage and Invisibility spell towers, or those that have at least 1 poison spell tower. However, this might be a bit more tricky against double poison spell tower bases, so just be careful. Let's start with a diamond base with double rage spell towers. This can be a relatively simple type of base to hit, so you're going to run 2 Yetis and 2 Witches on either side to create the funnel. You're going to use 4 Earthquake spells to open up the initial walls with another 4 around the core. You then want to use the Yetis, Witches, heroes, and Log Launcher to move in. Using an early Rage and the Grand Warden ability will allow you to protect everything, including the Yetis, as they dive into the core. You should have the King with the new pet, the Angry Jelly, in order to help clear out the core, but it's not necessary for you to have it. It's just very helpful. Outside of that, using free spells on splash damage defenses very much is going to help this attack as you work in. You should be using the Royal Champion though on the back end to keep everything moving through. Having the Haste Vial is incredibly helpful, as it allows you to continue to move in with the Hogs to help reinforce, and you can always have that Royal Champion doing a ton of damage. You should be able to clear the Town Hall even if it's all the way on the other side of the base. As long as you have either the King or the Queen to help, you are for the most part going to be able to get this down. The new Yeti level has just made this strategy a lot better, and not only that, it's really dang fast, similar to that of Root Riders, making this a very strong option if you want to use Yeti Witch at Town Hall 16. Now, what if you're seeing some ring base with double invisibility spell towers? Well, this can be a very solid bet. You're going to start by using 4 earthquake spells to open one side and using another 4 on the other to open a very clear lane. Having 2 Yetis on either side with the log launcher and the witches being spammed in with your Yetis, this is going to help you get in with the apprentice warden, the Grand Warden, your king and queen as you dive in. This is really where that king ability with the Angry Jelly is really good. Using an early rage and an early Grand Warden ability will really help protect everything. Having the free spells to make sure that certain defenses aren't doing as much damage, and of course having the king with his gauntlet and the Angry Jelly, it makes dealing with the Town Hall a lot easier. Not only that, but it just makes it much easier if you have your heroes more so spread out, with the Royal Champion going out to clear out more defenses from the back end, while your queen might be able to clear out some other buildings on her own. Having her ability with either the healer puppets or the frozen arrow is very much going to help keep her moving through. The hog puppets and the haste vial of the Royal Champion is just going to allow you to speed through a given area, and having something like an extra Yeti and the Electro Titan within your CC can very much help as you get closer to the back end. Otherwise, this strategy just really is difficult to stop. The only thing being poison spell towers, but for the most part, it can still work as long as you can keep everything moving into the core and you have a lot more on the flanks, and of course having your back end Royal Champion so you can easily 3-star with something like this. Now, if you are seeing a poison spell tower, don't panic, because you can still use this regardless of the base type, this being an anti-3 type design. Pretty much you're going to do the exact same thing that you've done throughout this entire video. 4 earthquake spells for the initial walls and another 4 in the core, with 2 Yetis and 2 witches to create the funnel, which then allows you to send in the rest of your Yetis, the rest of your witches, the apprentice warden, your log launcher, and the rest of your heroes. This is why I really like having the poison lizard on the warden, as it synergizes very well with all the tanks, having an early rage and grand warden ability to protect everything as you dive deeper in. Being able to deal with things like the ice golem CCs that are very common right now, it very much is an easy way to clear through these bases. For the most part, you just want to make sure that even if the king isn't going into the base, that you still have the new pet on him, as it will help clear out defenses a little bit faster, even if that means that you are sacrificing not having that invincibility or having him for a little bit longer. But for the most part, having the Royal Champion on the back end with her haste vial and the hogs can help clear out the Town Hall and other defenses, and it's especially true if you have a lot of Yetis in the core of the base. For the most part, this strategy is just insanely strong, insanely fast, and very much is on par with Root Rider spam without even needing Root Riders. The new level is such a powerful thing that really helps you in all stages of this attack, regardless of the base that you're hitting. And this shows why this strategy is still unstoppable between Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 16. Of course, if you don't want to use Yeti Witch and you want to use some other strategies like Root Riders, then I would heavily recommend checking out my Town Hall 16 top 3, as all those armies can still work very well even with the brand new defensive levels.